Hey everybody, Corbin Hostler back this week, and this week we have a creature deck. Last week we played a almost no creature deck, just Thing in the Ice. This week we are playing all the creatures, and this is a sweet one. This list went 5-0 on Magic Online. You can I credited the user in the article if you want to go read the article on TCGplayer, which you should, where I explain a little more about this. But this deck is awesome. So it's nearly all creatures. Okay, let's get that out of the way. We're running 2 Abrupt Decays, and we are running 4 Path to Exile. That's it as far as the non-creature spells in the main deck go. That means that we get to play things like Ancient Ziggurat. Add 1 color of mana to your mana pool, but spend it only for creatures. That's fine. We have so many creatures. Pillar of the Perunes. This only lets us cast multicolored spells. Well, guess what? We have a whole bunch of multicolored spells in our deck. So this deck is really sweet. Outside of that, it's basically a 5-color mana base. We have the Razor Rich Thickets, because we have a bunch of mana dorks we need to cast. We have some City Brass, Gemstone Mines, 1 Forest when you get Path to Exiled, Reflecting Pools, which is great because of something like Mana Confluence and Pillar and these things. Reflecting Pool can make any of those colors without a restriction, so it's really great here. And in fact, I would consider, and I just took the list as I found it. I made one small change in the sideboard, but I would consider adding the 4th pool and maybe taking out, one of the Gemstone Mine or something, or one of the Mana Confluences maybe. But let's walk through the deck here. So I mentioned our non-creature spells. We have 8 mana dorks after that. And now this is the whole point of the deck. We just get to play all of the good value creatures. It doesn't matter what color they are. And that's why we have all the colors. White, blue, black, green, red. Got it all. So Tidehauler Scholar. This is a great one. You get to mess with your opponent's hand. Very good at stripping their removal spells away. Or their combo pieces if they're a combo deck. Voice of Resurgence. So good against decks that want to interact at instant speed. Good against board wipes. Good all around because it makes all those tokens. Now we have some new additions. Reflector Mage from Oath and Eldritch Moon Spellqueller. These are just good value 3 drops that pull you ahead in the creature mirrors here with their mage, or help you against the combo decks, or just removal spells, things like that with the Spellquellers. Another great value 3 drop, Kitchen Finks. Manus Rider rounds it out. Just Flying Vigilance Haste. Just get in there, start doing damage. And you can see with 8 mana dorks, that's why we have more 3 drops than 2 drops, because we can just play a mana dork on turn 1. And then, the idea is to curve out into one of these on turn 2. And then after that, we have Big Daddy Siege Rhino, doing what Siege Rhino has always done. And then Lightning Angel, which is, your slightly larger for 1 more mana Manus Rider. And this deck just beats down with creatures while playing a little bit of a protection game in terms of messing with their creatures, with our removal spells, our Tidehauler Scholars messing with their hand, our Spellquellers, etc. So it's all creatures, but we get to force some interaction into the deck. It just seems like a lot of fun. I've called it Big Zoo. I guess maybe that's correct. 5-color creatures. I don't really know. This is a deck that I have not really seen before. So, I'm excited to share it here. Now, moving to the sideboard, we have a bunch of silver bullets, basically, a lot of things. And I cut, the 3rd mage and I think 1 other card and added a couple chords, because it seems like when we're sideboarding into things like Gaddock Teague and Kataki and these cards that are so high impact in the right matchups, let's chord for them. We have all these mana dorks. We have a bunch of green creatures, in our deck with all of these that can help tap for that green part of the mana. So it's not great. The Quarter Callings are not insane in this deck because a lot of your lands can't cast it. But we're only wanting to get things that cost 2 or maybe 3 with it. So I think it's reasonable. We'll see how it plays out. But anytime you have something like all these really high impact sideboard cards that are creatures, let's get some consistency in here. So Kataki, great against Affinity, obviously. Lantern, all those things. Pride Mage, good value against those same decks. Fulminator Mage for Tron. Anafenza, great against Dredge. I guess probably Tarmogoyf decks. I'm not sure. It's pretty big. It's a good creature. Sigarda, I assume this is also against Tron, so we don't get annihilated. Sin Collector, good against the combo decks or the control decks. You're going to mess with their instants or sorceries. Now, Gaddock Teague is the other one I want to talk about, because this card is criminally underplayed in Modern. It's very expensive, but it's not really played that much. But non-creature spells with converted mana cost 4 or greater cannot be cast at all. Non-creature spells with X in their mana cost cannot be cast at all. So these abilities just lock people out. If this card's in play, people actually just cannot cast the Wrath of God. They cannot cast the Supreme Verdict. You can't counter Supreme Verdict, but they can't even cast it. It messes with their Planeswalkers and Nihiri. This card is just very, very good. against a lot of different decks. So it's definitely worth a spot in this because it just hoses some decks. So that's a deck. I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? It's a bunch of creatures, but it's a lot of fun to play, and we're gonna beat some people down here zoo style.